Hey y'all, this is Jessica with Bless Your Heart. Let's make a striped Coquette style tumbler today. We're going to start with this 20-ounce skinny from Maker Flow Crafts. This is my first time using a Maker Flow Crafts cup, so let's see how we do. I'm going to take off all my goodies, put it back in the box. We are going to sand our tumbler with a sanding block I just got from Amazon. I'm going to spray it down with some 91% alcohol, and we're going to get ready for the next step. All right, now that we're all prepped and ready to go, I'm going to measure my tumbler, and it measures roughly 8 1/4 inches tall. So I'm going to go in and measure out 2-inch increments from the top, and that is going to be our stripes. I'm going to take some painter's tape and go just above all of the little marks that I made, and that is going to give us our stripes. Now that we have got our stripes all lined out, let's go over our glitter choices. For Peachy Olive Glitters, we're going to use Cheermeister, Paradise, and Love You Bye. And the glitter guy is Karen. To adhere our glitter today, we're going to use the actual acrylic paint. I'm going to use a pink, a white, and a lime green. And for the darkest green part, I'm going to add just a little bit of black to kind of darken that up. I'm going to mix it until I'm happy with the look. I'm going to use my soft makeup brush to apply the acrylic paint to the section that I want. And while the paint is still wet, I'm going to go full coverage with the glitter. When you're using anything as adhesive, you do want to make sure that you get it as nice and smooth as possible. Some of the transparent glitters will show any of the line marks that you have. So the smoothest that you can get that adhesive, whatever it is, the better your glitter application will look. So you want to go full coverage, top to bottom, side to side on each of these sections. Now I am not going to tape off my previously glittered part, so I'm going to go a little bit slower when I'm around that edge and let the brush itself do the work. I'm just going to kind of flare it into where I need it, and then while the paint is still wet, I'm going to go full coverage with the next color, and I'm going to go section by section on the entire cup this way. After all this paint underneath this glitter layer dries, I do go in and seal each section. I use polyacrylic, but you use whatever sealant you like and prefer. After that dries, I do go in with a layer of epoxy and I put on 2 coats. This is my epoxy method of choice. I start at the top and I just keep a rolling bead of that epoxy all the way down the cup. I smooth it out top to bottom, and I try to go in and take as much off of that top rim and that bottom rim as I can to try to get rid of muffin tops the best I can. Once I get it all applied, I do go in and torch it with like a camping torch, the little green bottles of whatever the fuel is, and let that spin. This is fast set, so it's going to spin for about 3 hours, and then I'm going to move on to the next step. Once my epoxy is dry enough to do anything with, I do a light sand on it just to kind of keep everything nice and smooth. I am going to go in and do my vinyl striping first, and I'm going to put those on the 3 sections, not top and bottom. After I get that done, I'm going to go in and do those really cute Coquette bows. I got this off of Creative Fabrica, and this is actually my very first successful print and cut ever. So I'll try to do some more, and maybe we can get a tutorial of that. Not real sure if that's going to happen. But I'm going to stripe out all of my sections, and then I'm just going to go in and I'm going to place these bows where I want them. There's not going to be any rhyme or reason to it. I am going to start with the pinks because there's only 4 of those, and I'm going to make sure there's a pink per section. And then I'm going to move on to the next one, and then to the next one until I like what it looks like. Once I'm happy with all the bow placement, I'm going to take those little shamrocks and I'm going to put them in between each bow in each section. And once I'm happy with that, I'm going to take one of these remaining bows and put that on the very bottom of the cup, and then I'm going to get a layer of epoxy to seal all that in. And here is where things went awry. My cup fell off of my turner overnight. So I have this huge little hunk of epoxy that just kind of flattened on my little silicone sheet that I have underneath my turners. So the way that I do this hasn't happened often, but this is how I kind of combat it. I take my palm sander and I very lightly go over those flat spots. You don't want to press very hard because this will go through your epoxy like butter sometimes, especially if you've got a new sanding pad on there. But you just want to sand these bumps and these little ridges that have come up from being flat on that silicone sheet overnight until you don't feel such a raise. You are going to put some more layers of epoxy on here, but you just kind of want to get everything as smooth to the touch as possible. Clean the cup up and then epoxy until smooth. And this is what we end up with. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.